Good morning, everybody. How are you all? Hello. Hello, Cecilia. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, Rachel. Welcome. Other people also on the other channels, welcome. Yeah, these days I just want to come up and just provide some service if I could, or just have a conversation and let people think about certain things and like. I'm doing this morning routine. Um, I'm beginning to articulate more about the purpose of that. See, generally people get up in the morning and take a shower and get in the car and go, right? And that's also getting up in the morning could be trouble because we were going late or we were watching the screens for a late night and all that, right? So that's the general lifestyle, especially for the doctors. We cannot determine the time sometimes. We come late and we can go late and all that, right? But in the morning, again, you have to be there by 7 o'clock. So you got to get up in the morning and get going and all that. So even in that busy times, I kind of stuck in this simple morning routine of doing four things: stretching the body a little bit. While stretching, take a deep breath, and also trying to be in the present, right? And that kind of just morning stretches and breathing and all that work because in 5 minutes you can accomplish a lot by being that. And also at the same time, if you are going to be in the present, we watch our thoughts. So it's a kind of a keeping the mind in its place and really finding that inner presence and then stabilize it in that. We want to go and work, right? Also, think about things that you have and you want to give, right? The service attitude, the not reacting for everything attitude, and also being really equanimous in all situations. So these seven principles I kind of incorporated into my morning routine. So get up in the morning, sit at the edge of the bed, and take deep breaths, and then stretch and breath and be present. And then think about these three qualities I'm going to cultivate to go to the work with a service spirit, decide, not reacting but responding spirit, and also equanimous in all situations. Okay, so that is the simple explanation of why I'm doing it, but it is ultimately to develop this inner resilience, not only for the body to be able to go and work energetically, but also the mind to be really not causing us problem. That has become a problem in modern times. We allow our mind to go wherever it wants to go, and we allow the mind to gather all sorts of unnecessary stuff and overload ourselves and burn and stress out. And we don't even enjoy the work because we are so distracted or we are so stressed out, right? So to be in that flow, to be able to work and also to be able to really be in our own control, all that adds up. And for that, you need this inner resilience of being energetic, but also being aware and also in control of your mind. Okay, that's why I devised that. So, anybody has any questions on what my intentions were for the morning routine, I would like to come up and I would like to answer that. And then yesterday we were talking about doing nothing. No, I was in Darrow's room, I think. He was talking about Warren Buffett's article. One of them, they said, doing nothing, Uh, that is very important because I kind of quiet my mind unless I'm using it. That simple habit helps me to conserve a lot of energy and also not really be bothered by my own mind. So kind of direct that energy in awareness to whatever I want to do intentionally, and then focusing attention. That kind of working in flow where your mind is not going all over is kind of getting rare these days because there are so many stimuli, so much thrown at us, right? And also, we want to do so many things. We are not content to do one thing at a time. We want to do several things with the greediness, like I have to accomplish more. Actually, it has accomplished less that way, you know. So that is something I talked about yesterday. So anybody has questions about that, you can come up too. And anything else, like what is the proactive wellness? Why do I keep on talking about this? You can come and ask me about that. And it's basically being responsible for our health and wellness, not in the sense of really having a nervous wreck about it, but just be casually aware of the things that are going on within the body and respect the normal cycles, hunger cycle, and then sleep, and then come down and all that. So, responding to our own inner intelligence of the body and the mind, that goes a long way. Okay, these are also some good wellness principles. Once you have that, you will be much better off. Okay, and knowing who you are as a human being is a big deal. That kind of gives us the wisdom within, that gives us joy and peace within, and happiness also. When you are operating at that level, it imbibed with that wisdom, joy, and peace, it comes into your daily life. Like whatever you do with dictated by love and affection, and you also promote this holistic health or proactive wellness, I call it, right? So for me, it's very simple, and I don't get perturbed, so I don't get agitated easily, no matter what the external circumstances are. So actually, when I get agitated, instead of getting myself prepared, I kind of, losing the energy to focus and concentrate and get things done. So this is a learned skill that we develop in certain things while you are growing up. But then some people get other things to stabilize them initially, like a smoking, like a take a drink and all that. But in the long run, obviously, that's not going to be a wise thing. Everybody knows about it, but they are unaware of it when they're first starting, right? So this awareness is very, very important thing. Be aware of what is happening, what's going on, and what you're doing, what your system is reacting. All that comes into that awareness piece, right? So many things we could talk about, and I could maybe share my own insight, on what I learned and what I'm doing, and how my life is kind of tranquil because of that. Things happen, but then the way you take it changes. This is the essential thing about what Buddha said one time. You will have problems, you will have the life coming that way, this way. That is like a first arrow that is coming to you, and then you are hurt by the events or whatever. That nobody can do about. But how you react to that first arrow, that's the important thing. That is what we can change. So it all depends upon you, your attitude, your approach, your resources, your way of handling it, your way of taking the wisdom in and applying it, and all that. So it all depends upon you. But actually, when you do these things, life is going to be light and enjoyable. That is why I always stick to this, right? Be aware, be in that awareness, and use the thought as you need it. And then stop it, okay? And don't let it go continuously. Don't leave it to the wind and then let it go. So, whatever you are doing, if you are intentional, if you are focused on that, then that is done, you are done with it, right? So, that kind of thing. So I'm here some of these times. If you have any thing that you want to talk about, or you want to tell us that is wise and applicable, or you have difficulty in certain things, it could be medical, or obviously we won't prescribe online anything. We won't give a specific advice, but then we do help the how to find the way about it through the medical system also. That kind of thing. Okay, so that's where I'm focusing on all the time. And so I had some time today, so I popped up. And then later on, the meetings will start, and then I'll be busy. But still, I come up on the rooms and try to contribute if I could. Okay, and people are happy about it, so I'm happy about it too. So there are some new people here, so I'm going to follow them. There are a lot of new people coming up these days because of the Noom app, I believe, which is a good thing. A lot of places to talk about wellness, to encourage them to follow principles of wellness, especially be proactive. I'm not talking about some things happening and then you are reacting, but suppose you look at what is this self care and what is this comprehensive self care. What are the principles? Basically, four things. Everybody knows about them. Number one is the you have to have a nutrition that is vital. That means what you are eating, what you are drinking, you got to be aware of it, not in an obsessive way, but just choosing what's good for you, what is good for you in the long run, and what is going to make you diseases, right? So you got to be careful about that. And then there's a complex matter, but still we can easily master that, right? We can easily respond to our bodily needs in an intelligent way, and we can prepare the food properly and eat food properly and all that. Okay, and let go of the food when it is not needed, and when it is like a psychological habit, overcome that. Okay, the second principle is you got to move the body, exercise the body, or make it really in motion, right? Even if you don't do formal exercise, if you just move your body from morning till evening when you are up, right? When you are awake, maybe you could take some quick naps. That's all okay. But then otherwise, you're just moving about, doing simple stuff, maybe some chores at home or at the office, or maybe just get up and walk, maybe take the stairs, things like that. Functional fitness, use your own body weight to do this exercise. That's the second one. So eat sensibly and move continuously. And third thing is rest when the body needs rest. Rest the mind if it is not needed. And that is the one principle people don't do. They let go their minds, thoughts all over. And that's kind of um, um, has become more because we have more stimuli to stimulate our thought, and the thoughts go on their own way. So you can go from here to India in a second and come back. So that's how the quick the thoughts can be. And then you hanker in them, then you are lost to the present moment, right? But rest both the body and the mind as much as especially when you feel that they need and they are giving you messages, right? And then the fourth thing is really understanding what is this movement of thought and how can I really do some stuff so that it will be efficient and it will be really effective in water. So suppose that means developing focus and concentration, attention, and all that, right? So when you live, either you are living or you are resting, whether you're moving or resting, you have the mind under you, not mind over you. So you make the mind your friend, your life will be very good. But if you make your mind your enemy, like letting it go all over, then that's a problem, right? So these four principles are in the self-care, comprehensive self-care, and I mean, we have a lot of knowledge, both scientific, both a lot of wisdom in the cultures and civilizations. Especially ancients were very good with the inner self, inner knowledge of ourselves, of the human beings, right? So we can tap into that and we can understand how people are eating, how people are not eating, how people are exercising and not exercising, how people are, all that knowledge is there. Any number of coaches are there. But the important thing is, are you taking self responsibility to keep these pillars of wellness, the eating, the moving, the resting, and the mind control? All these are important principles, four pillars, I call it. If you can do them with the intention, with intelligence, with the knowledge, with know-how that is already there from the experts and all that, then you are well off, right? Otherwise, you allow the chronic diseases to go on unchecked and then getting into problems and all that. So, as a physician, I have seen so much illness in my life. Now I think this is a good way to give back to the profession, helping it to really prevent illnesses and make people well and live long, but enjoy, not just existing like vegetables, not just getting days go by and suffering the morbidity of many diseases. That's what's happening. You have a diabetes, and usually they go to the doctor, they get checked, they get medications, they get insulin, they get restriction of diet and movement. People are doing on and off, and then doctor's instructions are clear: don't eat too much of sugar or too much of carbs, and then move your body and take your medications if they need be, and then also really sleep well and don't be in the stress. But that seems a lot when you are going to the working conditions and then you're reacting to everything and then you're kind of misused by people and the life. So many things happen, right? But people don't pay attention to what's called, what is myself, what is that I can do in this situation, how can I improve that inner resilience where I'm not only physically able to handle the task, but also mentally able to really not be influenced by it, but then trying to resolve the problems with my intelligence, not my nervousness, not my lack of focus, and not my complaining, you know. So be happy that I have the work to do, be happy that I'm serving somebody, and then be happy that you are given the chance to provide service to somebody, or it could be a animal or a plant, whatever, right? So this is what I'm promoting. um, Illness, obviously, we are there to help you to go and recover from it. But isn't it a better service for us to help you not to get ill by your own intelligence? You can employ these four pillars and attend to them with logic, with common sense, and then avoid all these illnesses and their complications and whatever. Obviously, we are going to get ill. We cannot really say that we will not. But then, how is that we are doing before illness and after illness? That's what I'm saying. We are there as professionals, medical professionals, to treat anybody who comes to our door with illness, with symptoms. But my style is not just to attend to the symptoms only, but really understand what are the underlying lifestyles, what are the things that they are doing that they are allowing this disease to grow in them. It could be addiction, it could be blood sugar control, it should be blood pressure control, or it could be some autonomous, system problems, and so many varieties are there, right? Autoimmune disease. That's what I mean to say. So there are so many diseases we can not do much, but we can really help to relieve suffering. But you can help yourself by understanding your own attitude and reactions to the disease and revisiting it, and then keeping the mind at bay instead of imagining all sorts of things and going into real problem and causing problems to the body by secreting these stress hormones which have a humoral effect on the body milieu, the body constitution, body's metabolic factors change, and your organs get more sicker because of the stress hormones. Do you need that? So that kind of understanding about what is a human being, what are the things that I can do with my body and mind that can improve my resilience that is inside, and then face life and its challenges with the strength. So to create your own inner strength is in your hands to some extent. But some things we cannot do much about, like a cancer and all those. When they really happen, they devastating cancers. We may not do something, but then we can understand what is human life. Is that what the lamenting about something inevitable? That kind of philosophical attitude also helps you. So, understanding life, understanding death, all these things are important, and I spend a lot of time on those things, explaining things to people, my perspective, my understanding of the modern science and the ancient wisdom too. So I come up on this social media just to encourage people to take responsibility for their wellness, to explore all the options that they have, to really educate themselves about the wisdom that is there about longevity, that is about long, well life, factors of joy and happiness while living, and how you can appreciate what you have, and then thereby you become richer, you become abundant. So you won't be really challenged by small illnesses, and then you will be able to put up with them or fight them better. But basically, my thing is, how can you be responsible by yourself to protect your wellness and to nourish it, to guard it, things like that. So that's why I'm telling you. See, when I underwent experiential knowledge through ancient wisdom, that has given me inner peace. That has given me inner joy and happiness. That is not going to be touched by anybody. That is the important thing that you want to understand. You cannot really, once you are sincerely attain that inner equilibrium in a state of knowing who you really are, these are the results. Then with that imbibement of joy, peace, and um really wisdom, that goes on to your life, so that you will be able to really do everything with wisdom and love and affection, and then you will also promote this holistic health, so that's what I'm doing. I'm happy because of the inward exploration of deeper issues of life through ancient wisdom, and you're content, you're happy to give, you're joyful in your activities. I'm not miserable about seeing patients or consulting people. I'm really happy to be able to give something, and that helps people, that makes it very satisfying and fulfilling for me, right? So luckily I don't have to expect anything in return for them, and then I get my things that I want, I need, and I don't have to go out there and conquer so many artificial goals and all that. So this is a tradition in India where people just took the study of the ancient wisdom, and their only job is to help people in trouble, or help people to ignore it, they want to understand, or help people in confusion, and they want to be not ambivalent but clear about life, about their choices, about accepting what they have, cannot change, all that. You remember that saying, give me the capacity to accept the things that I cannot change, but then change the things that I could do. And I know the difference between the two. Okay, it's a beautiful thing too. So that's what it is going on with me. Inwardly peaceful, content, joyful, blissful, outwardly able to provide services of various types to people, and thereby it says that my life of meaningful and purposeful life, and really comes from the abundance, you know. So I'm asking everybody to tap into that innate abundance every human being has, and come out with a strong inner resilience to face the challenges of life, and also to deal with the challenges, and fulfilling them, and understanding them, and go over them, and come out strong stomach, because I went to a difficult working environment, too many demands on myself about work, like a physician, for example. We go there, we have lot of patients going in every day, because people don't take care of themselves that much. Or even if they take care of themselves, sometimes the genes, sometimes environment, whatever happens, they become uh, sick, ill, right? Both bodily, mentally, and all that. And then they got to come and take care of themselves in the hospital, and they will be, you know, if they survive the illness, if they do very well, they can go back. But if you know what went wrong, why it went wrong, what you can do about it after the discharge and all that, that's where I kind of go above and over my duties, and explain people what is wellness, what is possible, what is that you could be doing for yourself through the help of the modern medicine and also ancient wisdom. You can tap into that, those knowledge, and then you will be better off taking care of yourself. Okay. I have been doing this for 10, 15 years now. I think last time I was in a hospital or medical setting is in 2014. And after that, I kind of, had been free of medications, and have been be able to maintain this kind of energy and health, and also understanding more and more, deeper and deeper about what is going on in my body and mind, how we can really separate them and be the real energy we are, and then looking at both body and mind as instruments and work on them. Okay, you can also do that. See, medical science is not just about giving you medications and making you uh, tide over the crisis for the time. Medical science is about understanding the inner metabolism at the cellular level, and we know a lot of genes are acting on them, and so much we know about inner milieu, and then understand what are the things that are really causing this disease to spread. The chief reason is we don't have the resilience that we need to really face the challenge posed by the invading agent or some putrefaction or some new growth like cancer and all that. But then the milieu can be attended to by supplements, by more exercise and diet and all that. Also by avoiding, you know, uh, environmental factors like not breathing toxic fumes and being aware of the carcinogenic nature of so many chemicals and avoid them. And so things like that, not just like that, but more being knowledgeable and understanding a lot of breakthroughs that are coming through the science and giving to my patients, applying them. Like, for example, I do a comprehensive metabolic panel, and that shows me the kidney indicators, BU and creatinine, going up a little bit. Then check with uh, you know whether his patient is drinking enough water or not, or he's taking too much salt or whatever, right? All those things that we know that we could study to see how their function is. Maybe we could take an ultrasound. Maybe we could do some more urinary tests. That way, urinary just analysis will show me what's happening at the filtration level of the kidney, and then adjust it so that kidney won't lose that function, working with a lot of resistance against, right? Suppose your blood pressure is very high, it's going to reflect on the kidneys too. So you want to really take it easy and don't allow the blood pressure to go up. You can do that without medications, but you may start the medications, get it under control, somewhat reasonable, and then slowly taper it off as your behavioral changes improve. That's what I do with a lot of high blood pressure people. I invite them. We measure blood pressure in both sitting and lying down, and also we may say to the patient, take it uh, at home twice a day. And then, if the blood pressure is very high for the age and the sex of the patient, we may start medications. And as they start the medication getting out of control, we suggest lifestyle changes, diet, lack of salt, lack of oil, and then organically grown good vegetables and all that, right? And then we may tell them just to do moderate exercise. The prescribed exercise is uh, 150 minutes, 150 minutes uh, per week. That means 30 minutes every day for 5 days. You can even take 2 days off, right? That's what we prescribe. So it could be just getting up and walking a few in the room in the morning and in the evening, or getting on a treadmill and walking, and or you eat and then go out and walk, things like that. Very simple, or bike or whatever, so just move the body like that. But if you are out of shape, we may want to build up your aerobic exercise capacity. So we may tell you, okay, do this kind of intense exercise for a while so that you can challenge your heart and then build up that capacity. Right? People want to do that after they have heart attack, cardiac rehab. I want cardiac rehab like from the beginning. Suppose you are losing your pep and you feel fatigued and then you cannot climb stairs, you're getting short of breath, then maybe something wrong with your heart and lungs and all that mechanism. So we test it and then we fix the pressure. But then lot more people are coming after damage already done. That's my beef, right? That's what where I kind of complain. I say we are so knowledgeable, we have so much scientific knowledge, so many doctors and all that, and we shouldn't leave this thing to grow just by themselves. We shouldn't be really allowing them to get attracted by the advertisement for the food that is supposed to be really junk, promoted McDonald's and all these restaurants that we do without paying attention to what kind of chronic diseases are they're helping to grow and get worse, and then a lot of suffering from it. If you look at that way, uh, for physicians or any people who are in the healthcare industry, I think we should be really thinking bad about that and feeling a little ashamed that we are allowing these situations to grow and then make people suffer. Okay. So that's my understanding, my depth of understanding. And then that's why I come and talk about be proactive about your wellness. Be considering choices that you could make in your lifestyles on a daily basis. Be proactive about your kids. Be proactive about your elderly parents and all that. The more you get tapped into simple things like four pillars of wellness, which are nutrition, exercise, rest, and also sleep and calming the mind. The fourth one is the calming the mind. That is very important in this modern age because we get rattled by everything. We think too much, we think negatively, and we kind of absorb everything under the sun. The atmosphere is there, the opportunity is there, but we have to have this intelligence. I'm not going to fall for that, right? So that's where proactive wellness comes in. That's where it's the duty of all the healthcare workers to educate and make the everybody be aware of this kind of slumber, like a sleepy invitation of all these problems and then suffer from it. Okay, so that's my view, and that's I stand by it, and that is what I am serving people. So even also nobody comes and asks a question, that's fine, but I express myself. Why I promote proactive wellness, why people are not paying attention to it, and why people are suffering so much money, your time and your energy and your family time, everything is sacrificed once you get sick. But if you could do something about not getting sick and then really being happy and joyful and enjoying your life, I think that's worth it, right? Only thing is, we are so driven by work, are so driven by doing something about some things, and we get taken away by that. But first, be well and then do. That's my thing. That's why the morning routine I put it there. So be well, be strong in your body, be flexible in your body, and be energetic in your body, and keep your mind rested so that your intellect will be sharp, memory will be sharp, imagination will be good. But do all that with your own intention. And then you get to really know when to rest, when to give rejuvenation of the body and mind, right? And then you employ that too. And then you always, man is our woman is made to stand up on two legs and walk. Use that. Simple, so if you get up and walk, I walked half an hour on my treadmill this morning. I was doing these rooms sitting down, but in between I get up and walk and then do my stationary bike if I want, or I do stretch bands, a number of things like that. Okay. uh, Hopefully, I can show you small videos of what I do with small weights, with simple things. Okay, I'll make them and I'll show you what I'm doing. Even the stretch bands are also very useful to do that. Okay, uh, so um, understand all that, and hopefully you will be able to employ these small recommendations I was telling. First of all, resolve to be proactive about your own wellness. You can have discussions with your healthcare provider and make a plan. And especially if you have like a comprehensive understanding of examination of our internal milieu by blood tests, scans, whatever we do, have it done ahead of the time when you get sick. and the money that is spent is worth it. Okay, and then once you have the insights about what's going on with you, then employ the plan of action, whatever is known. Okay, and then go from there. Okay, then implement that. Be intentional about it. For example, you are a diabetic and you like white flour things a lot. That's the actual case of my patient to one of them. So he could not get away from that because he was used to the, you know, he was used to the taste of it. He was used to feeling the full unless he has those kind of foods, right? And to change him all of a sudden is difficult, but to motivate him by giving this all that could happen with the diabetes as it worsened, as it developed into complications, he was motivated to change that. Then you slowly withdraw and introduce good foods for them. One thing I myself do is I eat all that I have to eat, like a vegetable salad, fruit salad, or just fruits, and nuts, and all those good things I have to do, like a brown rice and all that. But then at the end, what I really relish is some yogurt with rice and with some chutney or curry. And I finish my meal, even the small amount of it, to really satisfy my palate, my tongue stays right, and that way I have eaten what I need to eat, which are good for me, and I also finish my meal with this simple trick to satisfy my, inner taste and all that. That's important too because a lot of people enjoy their food. Sure, savor them for sure, but don't indulge in bad foods that are bad for you in a big way. That's the problem, right? So kind of cheat yourself by indulging yourself in a small amount of what you like at the end of the meal after you have eaten all the good things. So that kind of thing. So you know your inner state, you know the things that you have to do, and then you are actively every day remembering them and doing them. That's why put a heading like a, am I being proactive about me being well for a long time and also spending the time in joy? That's the challenge, right? Then first step is know your inner what is going on, and then your genetic history, your family history, your own past medical history, your own history of allergies, medications. All those things are important, which any healthcare professional will do. And then understanding that I have diabetes running in my family and we are doing the same diet because of the grandma's food is good and mom is making the same thing and we're eating it. That was all old time, you think. But it's not so. It is happening even now. People go to fast foods, people go eat tasty food that is made only for the taste, not for a healthy content of the food, right? So it is continuing. Once you understand your whole history, once you understand your whole composition of your body mind makeup from the historical point of view, from genetic point of view, from familial point of view, from environmental point of view, and maybe you are living in a weather that's not good for you. Maybe you cannot help it and all that. And also your working conditions, your civilized mind, your continuous chattering mind, all those things are important too. Once you take the inventory of what is going on for you here and now, depending upon what the past history or all that is, you could try to reverse these conditions or minimize them or really put up with them. Okay, whatever the situation is, right? Not that everybody eradicate. Like I said, the first error will come from the environment and everything that's going on in your life. But how we react to it is the second arrow. That is what Buddha said, that we can do something about it. And accepting the first arrow as inevitable, but reacting to it in our own, you know, in charge way, not like giving it to somebody else. That is the proactive wellness mean. Being proactively acting on our factors that influence our wellness, right? And then that's why this morning routine is something to give you that kind of insight into how you suppose you get up and you are not able to breathe. Suppose you get up and then your mind is going all over. And suppose you get up and you are very lazy, lethargic. All these things can be changed, right? You can eat light and sleep early and get up in the morning, and then you can do some exercise and then go to sleep and get up in the morning. You can get up in the morning not to allow your thoughts go all over, which you think is a virtue. It's not. It's a curse, especially in this day age. Think smartly. Think in control. Think intentionally. Don't let the mind go all over and then that think you are being creative. No, no. So calm it mind down and the creative forces will come into you. Okay. That people don't do, like I told you so many times, I stay in the awareness. That is because that is the fundamental essence of us. If you are not aware, what thinking, what feeling, everything that's happening in that awareness has no meaning. So be aware of the movement, be aware of here and now, be aware of what's going on here. Okay, there are so many people here, 30 people here. Be aware of that, and then be aware of what you're talking about. Lots of times don't get the feedback, but if they want to come and talk to me, I welcome them. But if you have some problem of coming up, that's their problem too, so but I'm aware that there are so many people, and uh, more of the time they may be shy or maybe don't have any problems for themselves. They are doing very well, and they maybe they don't trust my judgment. Number of reasons, right? But that doesn't matter. What matters here is what am I talking about? What is the intention? Provide a service of education and awareness. That's what I'm doing here. Education of what? The need for the proactive wellness. Awareness of what? How to do it, what it is, how to execute it in your life. That is the awareness I want to bring it about. So go and get a comprehensive evaluation of your inner health, body, mind. So many layers are there, right? Then chalk out a plan from the existence, scientific breakthroughs and knowledge, and also inner knowledge. See, scientists go out with evidence or temporary evidence, hypothesis, and then build upon that case studies, compare peer reviews, and all that. We can now come to a conclusion. Maybe we could do this. This will be good. And then we experiment, and from the experiment we get more data. Then we confirm, okay, this particular thing is good and all. So there's so many layers of that, but everything especially external. Whereas this inner knowledge of the ancients is about us, the human being, how you are not just mechanical um, cells or mechanical blood vessels and muscles and bones. You are much more than that. You are a thinking, feeling, and aware individual. So once you understand those and really use them to your advantage, that's where you got to go and find your real self and station yourself there. Then body will be maintained, mind will be maintained, emotions will be maintained, not by forcible control, but by awareness of what's going on, right? And then your mind is not moving, that is peace. You are content and satisfied, that is joyful. And you don't have to go after more and strive because you are found the diamond within you, and that is coming from the abundance. See, so resolve to be proactive about your wellness in all spheres. Find out the status of your wellness. Find out the alternatives that you have, maybe lifestyle change, maybe counseling, maybe consulting some expert, whatever, right? Whatever you need to do. And then remember that we have these inner forces that are very powerful, and understand them, learn them from the ancient wisdom, apply them. You don't have to have a language or a country or a religion or a sex, any of these things. All the human beings are composed of the same, maybe one way or the other. But basically, even quantum mechanics is coming to see that energy is everything. And Carl Sagan was saying, energy cannot cannot be born or cannot be die, but energy can be different forms. It can be changed into different forms. The human consciousness, human being is like that. Okay, never is born, never is going to die. What is going to die is the body and the mind. But if you really identify yourself with the body or the mind, that's a problem. So you got to identify with your real self. That's where all the inner workings of the ancient wisdom is. I am peaceful and quiet and calm and blissful because that is bliss, right? This is not like a big deal, really. I mean, it's not like a superhuman or anything. It's just being a real human being, right? Not our so-called imagined or thought-built structures. That is the problem with the modern man. Everything is thought built, and then they think that is the reality. That's why they are so far away from the reality, real reality. So once you are in the reality, everything will be much more crystal clear to you, and you will be able to handle. You want to identify with your role. You want to identify with your academic achievements. You want to identify the degrees that you got from the memory, and then you can to forget who you really are. What if that role goes, the head of something, whatever it is, and what if that job goes? That happens, right? Then they are miserable. So don't identify things that are not really you, but identify with that energy, that force within you as you. And staying in there is what I try to get in the morning by asking people to be with the movement, with what they are doing, with what is happening in that body. That's why I say you can stretch and breathe, but you be aware, you be in the movement, what's going on. Be aware of the stretch doing to the body. What does it invoke? Be aware of that. Don't think it after exercise over. Do it as you are doing it. That's how you bring yourself to the centeredness, to your inner center. And from there, you want to operate. You're going to determine what I'm going to do. You're going to be intentional about things. When you're doing it, you will also enjoy. And giving is enjoyment. For me, that's so. I think a lot of people give, a lot of people give so many ways, but they may not realize the joy at the time because they are occupied with something else, probably. You know. So, so think about what I said. Be proactive about your wellness. First, know how your status is, and employ these great. We do best practices for every small thing or big thing, right? The road has to be laid. We want to adopt the best practices. Like that, we have in healthcare also best practice of taking care of a sick patient. But what I want to say is best practices how to live daily before they come to the hospital. That way you can spare this, not only the money or spare the energy and spare the stress, all that goes through a lot. right? If a one person in the hospital seriously, sometimes they go bankrupt because they have spent in the ICU for maybe 20, 30 days and their money is gone, or the money that Medicaid, 1 million, whatever, that's gone, right? And then so much disruption for the family. Maybe finances are disturbed, and then maybe car rides are disturbed, maybe watching all the home is disturbed. So many things happen, right? Kids suffer, families suffer, and everything. So avoid all that unnecessary hospitalization, and don't go to a system that is really revenue based, nothing else. But develop this intelligence within you so that you become the beacon of hope in your family, how to be well. It's not about being fitness nut, or it's not about being sculpted body and then thinking, oh, I'm so beautiful. I'm not talking about that. That's all also a problem, right? What I'm talking about is commonsensical, pragmatic, practical way to make an effort every day, especially in the morning if you are working during the day, and preparing your body, preparing your mind, preparing your heart for the day's life ahead. The life can throw anything at you, but you have developed the resilience to deal with that appropriately, not causing more problems for you, not causing more stress and strain and burnout for you. So that's the intelligence of doing this morning routine of doing four things. Remember, four things. Number one is stretch the physical body. Number two is deep breathe into the stretches. Number three is keep your mind here and now as you stretch and breathe. And if you should have more thoughts coming up, just watch them. These four things you will have to do. And I do it with you. And then three things you want to resolve to be at work is I'm not going to react but respond to the tasks, not react emotionally, unnecessarily with my pride, with my ego, and all that, right? That emotional reaction, the movement of thought with that can cause stress hormone secretion, can harm you. That's the number one. I'm not going to react, but I'm going to respond to the tasks or duties or responsibilities that I have. Number two is I'm going to be equanimous to good and bad, difficult and easy, whatever. And number three is I'm going to go with the attitude of giving, serving, whoever that is, and their needs first, not my needs. That is the servant leadership. So once you have these three cultivated, not to react, being equanimous, and also really providing a service, whatever you do, if you offer it like a service. In my case, I offer it a service to the divine within. So that is it is called Sivagnana Jiva Seva. Identifying the God within everybody and then serving that God. That is Sivagnana Jiva Seva. Okay, the Sanskrit term. So for me, it's very simple. So be whatever makes sense for you. You want to make money, that's not service. You want something out of it, praise or you know uh, or stroking your ego, that's not service. Okay, so you want to be genuine, you want to be loving and kind and share and give, and that becomes service. Okay, so that's a very good thing to cultivate. Okay, it promotes harmony, it promotes relationships, it promotes the chemistry in that. In the culture, corporate world where I advise, corporate wellness is where you look after wellness of everybody so that the culture itself breeds you wellness. That means you actively avoid donuts and biscuits and all sorts of things all over. Maybe some of them one day is okay, but not all 7 days. All that. So any number of times when I went to a hospital for this executive committee meeting, all the department heads are there, and they are eating donuts all the time, So I pointed out to them, but then they take it from me because I talk about wellness all the time. I kind of help people get out of the stress. I conduct classes and all, so they take it from me, but they don't implement. What kind of model is that, so that kind of thing you can participate, that you can take a initiative, like gather everybody's opinion and maybe cut it down, maybe get some fruits and vegetables along with the donuts and give a choice for people and encourage them to eat greens and all that better, that kind of. So a culture that is promoting wellness, a hospital system that is more oriented to the wellness. That is my goal. That's where I'm working, and where I kind of give lectures, talks, and suppose I'm invited to advise them on how to improve, you know, they usually ask me to cut down the bill for the illnesses, but they cannot say you cannot smoke here, you cannot, be stressful in your job or being impulsive and behaving badly. All those things they cannot do completely. But then they bring in a wellness coach, and then the wellness coach gives you all these prescriptions, and then they are taken and they are forgotten. They don't do. So what it is to help the corporate wellness as a whole, you need to work from the top. If you can teach the top people servant leadership, which I do, and they can figure it out and then produce it to for the other people with their behavior, with their actually living the principles. So a lot of things are there, and I'm happy to provide the awareness and understanding, and it's up to everybody to take the ball and run, right? You save a lot of money healthcare wise, and then we can use that for our children's education and the research into things, right? Not this unnecessary, people are suffering and then losing money, time also. That's my viewpoint. That's what I'm working. I will not deviate from that. I will provide education for the proactive wellness. I will help anybody asking me any question or coming and consulting me. And I feel like I'm blessed. I'm doing this work. It's not just making people who come with sickness just a band-aid and then send them with the same sickness out and allowing them to get it worse. That's what's happening. Chronic diseases because of the civilization. That are big problem. A lot of nursing homes, a lot of long-term cares, a lot of in-home care. That's all getting much tougher, much more expensive. My way is I don't have to go to anybody. I don't have to take medications. I don't have to visit doctors, hospitals, and all that. And so I'm going to continue this lifestyle as long as possible. And I'm doing actively good things to my body, good things to my mind, and really taking responsibility not to let them go awry, yeah, on their own. I make the body move. I keep my mind quiet as much time as possible. I eat good food, but sensibly. And even more than eating, I move the body a lot. Okay. And I keep the mind quiet. And I breathe deeply. That's one thing you want to understand. Look at your breathing, how it is, how shallow it is. How often do you breathe? That could be a starting point. Okay. All right. So, anybody who has any questions, I'll stay with you for a few minutes if you have questions. Otherwise, I will close the room. Okay, I followed everybody here. Lois is there, Cecilia is there, Daryl is there, Dr. Robert is there, Ronald is there, and Western philosopher is there, and so many people. I see them all the time. So many new people too. I've been following them. I hope at least you got the main thing I'm talking about. Give me a signal if you got the main awareness and understanding of what I'm talking about proactive wellness mean and why it's important. Why not practicing things like that is costing a lot of money, a lot of suffering, and okay, yeah. So I think we are all responsible for that, and then we don't have to be so much involved, but then you can really display this behavior at least to the kids, so the kids absorb from you doing that. Okay, if you speak to them, they will be not listening, but if you do it, they see it, they may adopt it. Okay, and usually you can do something. Suppose you are in charge of the kitchen at home, you can only put good foods there, and once in a while something they like to eat. So that kind of combination will work. Suppose you want to encourage moving, ask them for walks after a meal and go and spend time with them. Then they will do. And then if you have select kind of maybe dedicate a room for meditation if you could. Otherwise, find a place where it is quiet and then do simple meditation from vipassana to all the way to real big meditation. I don't think anybody does real meditation. They just try to calm it down for this time and they go. It's like a vacuum. You kind of suppress it, and then once you go in the life, it come out. That's not meditation. You have to be in thoughtless, aware state for a while. That's not that bad. The steps are simple. You sit down and see what's going on within you. Close your eyes, turn your mind inward, and watch what's going on. Am I getting too many thoughts? Am I getting too many feelings and all that? Then, if they are, then focus on your breath and let the all the thoughts come together. Then, as you make all the desperate thoughts come together and they are going down in number, they are also slowed down because the deep breathing does that. So as you're breathing deep and trying to focus there, all the thoughts, everything come together. Then one thought, then you can go beyond that one thought into the silent, thoughtless state. That is itself blessing. That itself is the most healing thing for you, right? Brain is the main thing about our health. But if you can do that, but you want to engage in so many activities, so much of information, so much stimulation, and whipping the mind all the time, it's going to continuously work, 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 and then go down. That's what's happening with the burnout and stress. So take responsibility for your wellness. That is proactive wellness, and I hope people take in the right spirit of what I said. Okay, we are all collectively responsible, but individually executable. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you guys again later.